humanity if he's not there? I mean, if they're not.
They left for the stars, just like Wally.
So they're not on any other planet. They're just floating out there, just like in Wall-E.
Probably. That's all it says. That humanity left the planet. They left Orbot behind to clean it.
Sega should sue. I'm being honest. They should. But they're probably not going to. You know why? Because Sega's really nice, and they're working with Disney on Wreck-It Ralph. I highly doubt that. It should, though. I mean, that's...
They should at least, put him in a Disney movie.
Right?
Or something.
Or how about Disney actually should have made a movie called Vectorman instead of Wall-E? You know?
It's too violent for kids.
Pay Sega some royalties.
Especially today when you can't make violent kids movies anymore.
Well, they should do something. I mean, honestly, I'd rather watch Vectorman than Wall-E. Vectorman has a lot more personality. Yeah, sure, Wall-E's cute or whatever, but Vectorman is like, he's cool. He's like the Sonic of polluted worlds.
He has that 90s attitude.
Definitely got the attitude. And he's kind of arrogant, which I like that. You know, when you beat a level, he's doing all these poses like, yeah, I'm amazing.
Even
I don't care.
Trash talks too when you do stuff. He does it more in Vectorman 2, but he does it in this one too.
That's pretty cool. I like that. That's kind of like why I like Sonic.
He yells out, "Come on," or "Steve."
Yeah. Those are actually like my favorite characters sometimes, when they're kind of cocky like that. I thought Shadow the Hedgehog was going to be that way when he first came out, and he kind of was, but not really.
He does when he met Sonic King before fighting Sonic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially that first fight.
Cool.
Faker! You can't call me Faker.
I'm the coolest. He was pretty cocky in Heroes too. It'll be a date to die.
Yeah. And in Shadow.
Yeah, but that was like way over the top though.
That Shadow, he was too much like Sonic in that one.
He was like I don't even know what happened there. And then Jason ruined a lot of things too. You know, he made Shadow move. But anyway, this is Vectorman. Now, let me ask you this: if you, since this is like one of your favorite games, if you could have anyone voice act for Vectorman, who would you choose?
I have no clue. I don't even know who his voice actor is in this one. Probably just some random developer. It's like, hey, I need you to do the voice of him. Okay.
Now, you do know that Vectorman's voice is featured in a Sonic game, right?
Is it?
Yes, it is. It is in a song. One of my favorite songs, by the way. Collision Chaos, the Japanese version, Bad Future, I believe. And at the very end of the song, you just hear him as if he's jumping and hitting his head on a ceiling or something, like a low ceiling. He's like, ugh! You just hear that in the song, out of nowhere. You're like, what the flip? Is that Vectorman? And the more you listen to it, the more you realize that it's actually him. It's crazy. You should totally listen to it. I was pretty shocked that Sega would do that, but Sega would do that, and I must admit that inspired me to kind of do something similar eventually for some random event that's going to happen in the future for Sonic Revolution, but I'm not going to mention it. So let's change the subject.
So, what people always say Vectorman is supposed to be Sega's answer to Donkey Kong? Graphics-wise?
What?
Well, they're both pre-rendered graphics or something like that.
Do you agree with that?
They look similar. I don't know, barely played Donkey Kong. I barely played Nintendo. Sorry, but the Sega Genesis crushed everything in the 90s.
It did. If you didn't have a Genesis in the 90s, you weren't cool. If you had a Nintendo, then I'm not going to say what you were, because this is a kid show.
I had an N64, I had the original Nintendo, the Game Boys, but I always went back to the Genesis to play Sonic and Vectorman.
I'm not gonna.
And Earthworm Jim.
I wanted an N64 so bad, and my mom's like, "No, you're getting the Sega Saturn because I like it." And I'm like, "Okay, mom." And then she got it, and I fell in love with it.
Saturn seemed like a very missed system.
The Saturn didn't get its moment in the sunlight, mostly because of hype from other consoles and Sega's own mistakes. However, that shouldn't be taken out on the console itself. It was a great console. It's just a pain to develop for, but not necessarily a pain to play. It was really good console.
Plus, it didn't
I
have
wish
didn't have Sega's mascot on it,
not
except for
exclusively.
R and 3D Blast and Jam.
No real exclusives. All those games were released on other consoles or other PCs.
But you got
Sega-
Knights. That should be enough for anyone.
Oh yeah, Knights was amazing. Sonic Extreme was supposed to come out on the
Wasn't that the what Super Mario Galaxy is?
pretty much, you know, running around with flipping cameras and whatnot.
Yeah, that fisheye camera thing they
Yep, upside down physics and all that stuff.
did. See, Sonic did it first.
Sonic always does it first. Well, except for, you know, the whole platforming jump thing. But
Yeah, but Sonic isn't fully used Mario's platform style.
no, not at all. You know, I was playing Mario today actually, and I came up with a new rant. I'm not going to get into it too much because this is of course the Vectorman Let's Play, but I will say this: Mario gives you, and this rant is towards Sonic. This is towards Sega. Mario games, you're slow. You're a plumber. You're slow. You're fat for whatever reason. You don't really have that much agility. Whereas in Sonic games, you're really quick, and the controls are very tight and responsive. But Sonic gets a 10-minute time limit. Mario gets like what, 2 or 3 minutes tops to finish the stages. What's up with that? Shouldn't it be the other way around? You know, that's just something. It's just something to think about. Just something to think about.
No, Sonic doesn't even have a time limit.
Don't remind me. Well, he didn't in the adventure games either, but still, you know, that was more story driven than anything.
I still want to know what happens when you're in the Knights pinball. What happens when you collect all those things?
Oh, the idea balls?
Yeah.
I know, I was doing the same thing. 'Cause it's possible to do it. It's very easy to do it.
I
Just
was
keep
like
going.
missing 2 the last time I actually tried it.
I've started searching on Google. No one's ever
No one's really ever,
endured.
yeah, no one's really paid attention to that.
I mean, it takes me about 45 minutes just to get about through. So, you know what? There's always Game Shark hacks. Maybe I'll hack it one day and actually do this. Maybe we'll do a Let's Play on it or something.
I like this one. This is a cool one.
Now, here's another thing about Vectorman. The enemy designs, they come, like that enemy right there, that guy right there that just blew up, he looks just like an enemy out of some of the Terminator games back from the same year, you know, back from the 90s. Vectorman, I don't know, it definitely has its post-apocalyptic cues in there, because a lot of this game reminds me of Terminator.
I forgot how they described it, but Vectorman 2 went with a different direction.
Did it?
It was more of exploring the wilderness. This is like abandoned ruins and everything.
Really? So not so much, you know, trafficking sludge to the sun.
Yeah. He was fighting giant bugs in the second game.
Really? Interesting. I'm definitely gonna, I can tell you now, but I'm gonna definitely get Vectorman 2, like, as soon as possible. In fact, I'm going to California this weekend to go.
Don't you have Ultimate Genesis collection?
I do. Is Vectorman 2 in there?
Yeah, one or two. I'm playing it on the Genesis collection right here.
It's not the same. I'd rather play it on a Genesis, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I played the original on the Dreamcast, but that was different. Well, no, it wasn't, but I just want to go get the original game. Why not? I'm actually liking Vectorman's story, because I like the whole concept of Wall-E, believe it or not. I like it a lot. The whole idea that the little robot has to, you know, clean up after everything, and You know, that's actually one of my favorite stories, believe it or not. It's just such a small story that can be told with so little words, but let's face it, Sega did it better. They
He's
were
just
there
a much
first,
more older and badass version of Wally.
pretty much. Honestly, I didn't dig the fact that Wally couldn't talk. I mean, he made noises and whatnot, and he did somewhat talk, but he couldn't have like a conversation. He was like an R2D2, you know? But yeah, Vectorman, that brings a whole new style to that concept, that idea.
Yeah, it sucked though. I didn't expect him to be as popular as he is. He must have grew popularity over time. But I'm pretty sure he was a really overlooked character just because he came out so late in the Genesis life.
I can agree with that. I mean, like I said, when my first time ever seeing him, I didn't even know who he was. I thought it was Bomberman. That was before I even played Bomberman games. I'm like, oh, I gotta get that Bomberman. That looks awesome, that green guy. And then I get it, and I'm like, what is this little white shrimp? And then I fell in love with Bomberman. So, ironically, I found out about both of them in the same day. Because I got Smash Pack for Christmas in 2001, and I also got Bomberman Online for Christmas in 2001. So when I got both of those, I was like, oh man, this isn't Bomberman. Where's that green guy? And then I just happened to play Smash Pack, and I'm like, there he is. Oh my gosh, his name is Vectorman. You know, so I got disappointed and very excited in the same day. It was pretty cool. That's a little short, irrelevant story about my Christmas 12 years ago. Or 11 years ago.
You should also listen to the Sega Tunes version of Vectorman songs.
Sega Tunes?
Yeah, you never heard of those?
No.
Apparently they released some special edition CDs where they remixed a bunch of songs. Sonic got a Sega Tunes treatment too.
Hmm.
And Toe Jam and Earl is one of those games.
Definitely have to check it out.
Of course, this will be when I upload this. Will be after his anniversary. On his anniversary, I'll release a special video, and the song that plays on it is the Sega Tunes version of his theme.
It's pretty cool.
Done by John Holland.
Now, you want to know what's insane? Now, you said it's his 17-year anniversary?
Yeah.
Now, that's crazy because just back in May, Knights had his or hers 16th year anniversary. I didn't know that Vectorman and Knights were so close.
When did Knights come out?
1996 in May. Or actually, I may be off. It could be 1995. It may be 1996. I have no idea.
Looks like they came out near each other.
Yeah, they came out pretty close. So within a year, or within a year, 6 months or so.
Because Vectorman was October 1995.
I think
And
Knights.
And then the second game was a year later.
I think Knights was May of 1996, but don't quote me on that. But even so, you know, a year, that's a huge jump. You know, to go from something like Vectorman to something like Knights. I didn't know that they were that close. It's a huge jump in technology and...
We're at the end.
Oh.
Boom.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jim, for explaining to us how awesome Vectorman is. And we'll see you for episode 2. We'd like to give a shout out to SithWarrior26. He's always advertising our videos. Also like to thank the Blue Shadow for always hosting our Let's Plays. He couldn't
Yeah,
make
if you
it up.
guys didn't know, he's been sitting here listening the entire time.
That is true. Hello, Blue. And he probably fell asleep. But thanks to all those members that join us and watch us all the time, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Vectorman's awesome.